kind. Basic qualities of mankind. Okay, 30 virtues, he says, how you should behave, how you should perform, and then he says how you should worship the divine. So there we had stopped, and now I will move on. So few things I am skipping which are not very, very important. Skanda 7, chapter 11. So little bit we discussed about um, roles and responsibilities of different varnas. Now, uh, Yudhishthira and the whole story, as I said, is between Shukacharya and Parikshit. In that conversation, again, they bring about certain conversations which have happened elsewhere. So, in that, between Yudhishthira and Narada, now the conversation is going on, which is being narrated by Shuka to Yudhishthira. Now, they go ahead in that conversation. What are the general dharma of all people? Continuation. He has told about all those qualities which every human being should have, irrespective of any caste. Now, Yudhishthira has asked about what is Varnashrama and what are those people, what are the categories. After listening to charity, scriptural study, contentment, service, gradual withdrawal from too many works, and be prepared. These are all the 30 disciplines, Narada, truth, compassion, all those. Now he says, what are the duties of brahmacharis, vanaprasthas, different ashramas and different varnas? This is a question asked. So in that continuation, we know that we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita also. So brahmachari's duties also we have discussed to some extent. Brahmachari is a student life. So today we shall see what happens in student life, and also I will move to what is a householder's responsibility, because we are all householders. So that will be the discussion for today's session. So he says, what are the responsibilities of a brahmachari? See, just like we say, when a child is growing, his first 3 4 years are formative. I think 5 to 6 years, formative period. Whatever the child listens, his environment, all those form the basis for his personality in future, says our modern science. The spiritual scriptures say, in addition to that, the previous samskars and all that. So also, even if you say only in this birth, whatever is done during brahmacharya period, that will serve as his personality throughout his life. So this period of brahmachari or a student life is extremely important, because during that time, all the organs are performing at their peak. He has got maximum energy, he or she, both the girl and the boy. So therefore, there are certain prescribed responsibilities of a true brahmachari or a true student. It is too late for us to learn this, but those who are young, they are still, one student is there. So, and Suvarchala is also young, and others we can tell our children or grandchildren. So brahmachari should be humble like a servant, and he should chant whatever mantras or whatever he's studying. If you apply for today's practice, any brahmachari of any caste, any community can take, diksha, or he can learn from a good guru. All the gurus in modern world, particularly the Ramakrishna Mission or Chinmaya Mission or Arsha Vidyapit, you go to any of them, they are not discriminating any community, any caste. You can go to them, get some kind of guidance, and that early morning chanting, this is told for a proper, of course it's applicable to all ages, but in the modern world he talks about sandhya vandana and all that. So that may be a little difficult in today's, I'm making it little practical. Those who can do it, they can still go ahead and do. But certain basic principles like doing meditation early in the morning and studying the scriptures and starting your studies, whatever you're studying, early morning. Getting up early in the morning is important. And tuning yourself with the nature's cycle. Like you have to get up before the sunrise. So these disciplines they mention, and they say you should be of good conduct, moderate in eating, no overeating. And when the brahmachari deals with women, he should be very, very careful. In fact, he should not allow, those days they are referring to Gurukul, they should not even go close to the Guru's wife. Same thing Ramakrishna Paramhamsa used to tell. Bhagavad says, woman is, Bhagavad is saying, sorry, 1 minute. So Bhagavad says that woman is like fire. Woman is like fire. Actually, young age nalli, there are lot of uh, urges, both in boy and the girl. So while interacting with the opposite sex, one should be careful. Those days, women used to be generally at home, men used to go out. So any woman, whether it is guru's wife or colleagues, or uh, any relatives, when you go as a brahmachari, do not be away from a woman. And the Bhagavad says, even Sharda Mata, wife of Sri Ramakrishna, she was very pious woman. Many brahmacharis used to learn from her, take diksha. One brahmachari went and he was helping her, and he was asking, Amma, what shall I do? Very pure fellow. Mother said, don't come closer. See, I am very pure, you are also pure, but there has to be some distance. Do not keep coming again and again to the women's cabin or including me. Don't do that, because you know what you are, I know what I am. And the brahmachari considers her as actually goddess Durga, but the people will not be observing in the same perspective. So one must be careful, number one. Number two, any kind of contact for the person in that age group, before becoming a householder, it's better to avoid company. But today, when I see the younger generation, including my children, it is a very impractical suggestion. They will say there is very, very impractical, because there's co-education. They are moving in and out. They do combined study, group study. There are chances of, getting attraction and all that. But if you are sincere followers of scriptures, it says that control of senses during that time gives you lot of intellectual that I explained also in the last session, how it helps you to, control, retain your energy. That is called ojas. Ojas, they say. Ojas is the highest energy, which is spiritual energy, and control of that during brahmacharya helps you to conserve that. Ojas goes upwards rather than getting dissipated. It goes upwards and it helps you to, in your memory. Somebody asked, Swami Vivekananda had a photographic memory, and there is an explanation. One of the major reasons was he was utter brahmachari throughout. There is absolutely no deviation from even his thoughts. So brahmacharya is directly proportional to your intelligence and memory. Medha Shakti, memory, it's extremely important because there is time for everything. But anyway, application in today's generation, it is not a must. I'm just sharing because there will be some viewers also. Let them not mistake. It is up to you. People say we know our responsibilities, we know how to control, we know what to do. And you people think there is always some debate. You people think it is very bad and all that. No, it's not like that. These kind of arguments are there. It's left to them. So that is brahmacharis. He should not, one is not get attracted to wealth, not get attracted to women, so that you concentrate on your studies, mainly studies, understanding, because you need to be capable of understanding what you're going to do in future. That's what it says, as a grihastha and as a vanaprastha. And if you are going to become sannyasi, that also, everything. And this brahmacharya practice will help you. After householders, again you have to withdraw to brahmacharya during vanaprastha. Even when you are householder also, there is a regulated physical pleasure, regulated. It cannot be haphazard. Anytime anybody cannot start seeking physical comfort. So they have stressed very much, almost full, about 10 shlokas are on brahmacharya vrata. So that is about brahmacharya. And vanaprastha, they have told, then they come to household. Vanaprastha is one who leaves the house, all these dwelling in house, goes to the forest, and he continues his sadhana or spiritual practices in the forest. Obviously, he goes to the forest to do that. So he says you should not be, when you are vanaprastha, you should not, aspire or desire to eat very delicious food and all that. So that I will not go in detail. Then they have described about sannyasi's life. How should a sannyasi be? So that also, if you can read up. But what they say is very much applicable to the modern sannyasis, because we have both hypocrites and true sannyasis in today's world. So everybody should read that, particularly those, I mean, the reading means what, those hypocrites and what I should say, those who just, for publicity or commercial sannyasis are also there. We have seen some have gone behind bars, they have been arrested also. So that is
Pseudo sannyasis, you can call them.
Yeah, my pseudo sannyasis. Correct, pseudo sannyasis. So that is right, madam, because you have heard some examples of, because they mislead the people. They mislead. They mislead the people, and people will start following, and only to repent later that they lost so much of their life, wealth, money, and even some of them have given their morals also. So it's not less said, better it is. But Bhagavad says he should not, and popularity irbardu, ದುಡ್ಡಿನಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. But that also means that householders have to support genuine sannyasis. Genuine sannyasis, it is a responsibility of the householder to, support them. That means a charity. Those who are really genuine people, they are interested in the welfare of the society, but they cannot make money. They are not supposed to. I was also telling our Guruji that we will charge for some workshops. They said it's totally against our principles. We are not supposed to charge. Donations we accept, but we don't charge per ticket so much. It's not done. Somebody, if they want to do and then give donations, we will take. Even for the schools also, they have not done that. So those are genuine people. So after that, then he goes on to tell about Avadhuta's mode of life. Avadhuta is one other, you might have heard. Avadhuta is like sannyasi only. He is another form of sannyasi, but he will not be called. He'll be alone. He will be walking they are called as parivrajaka. They will not stay in one place. Kotru ivattu ಊಟ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಊಟ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ, ಊಟ ಸಿಗದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. Then two learnings from Avadhuta, Narada says. Avadhuta is telling somebody else, and that Narada says. So Avadhuta has told in one Avadhuta, one full Vananja Govindacharya has given Prakriti in the Kalata Patha anta nanu nimge helidde last time. Adralli in this they have mentioned two of them. Avadhuta says, I have learned two lessons from honeybee and python. Honeybee and python. Honeybee goes to honeybee teaches renunciation. Just as the honey is gathered by the bee through hard labor, Papa, it works so hard. And we were told when we were Madhumakhi anta one pata ittu, KV, we studied in KV. So there they used to tell, Indira, am I visible to you? It's blocking, I think. No. Visible. Okay. So honeybee, ತುಂಬಾ ಬಿಸಿ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಹನಿಬಿ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಬಿಸಿ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋ ಬಿಸಿ, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಸ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹನಿಬಿ ಅಂತ. ಐ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಮೈ ಟೀಚರ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ರಾಣಿ ಬಿ, ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದ ಕ್ವೀನ್, that also I think only queen is something was there, that bees are extremely busy. How nicely ishtishtishte tandu they make a nice beehive, and there's so much of honey in that. What happens to that honey? What does the man do? He burns it, and then he collects all that honey, and we enjoy. The extreme work done by the honeybee is enjoyed by somebody else. So the Avadhuta says, the honeybee taught him renunciation. Andre, that is his nature of working, and he doesn't expect anything, and he's happily, the honeybee continues to work. Honeybee continues to work despite knowing the fact that this honey is hardly useful for me. It's going to be useful for somebody else. But this is my nature of work. I have been destined to do this. So renunciation I learned from honeybee. Andre, if you apply, some people may say it is stupidity that we work hard for somebody and we don't get the pleasure. It may be like, but that is one angle of looking at things. Another aspect which we can apply to us is that we work, Swami Vivekananda says, Karma Yogadalli, work for the sake of work. The highest level of spirituality says that the work should be enjoyed because we have come to this world and because we have to contribute to the society. And if we get an opportunity to work, that itself is the grace of God. That is what you are getting. Many people don't have an opportunity to work, so enjoy the work as though it is part of the multiple aspects of this nature's working. I am contributing. That is the actual way of working with renunciation. It's a very high level of thinking, because normally we work and we should get some, we work for money first as a householder, and then we work for recognition. If somebody insults, we get angry. If we change our attitude to this perspective, this is precisely what is karma yoga, then we won't get hurt, we enjoy the work, we don't carry baggage. And ನಮ್ಮ ಉತ್ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಝಳ ಝಳ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡೋದು ಅದನ್ನ. I worked and enjoy. The pleasure should be in working. Pleasure should be in working. Let anybody take the benefit. Let anybody take. This is very much applicable because majority of us today are employees. We are all employees, isn't it? Majority are employees. Very few are employers. Employers also have to depend on employees. So what happens is we keep working not knowing where are we heading to. Only salary, salary. After some time it becomes monotonous. Based on my experience, I'm saying it becomes monotonous, becomes stressful. Yargistu dudibek now. We are working, somebody else is enjoying. These are all the thoughts that come eventually to every person who is really working very hard. That perspective, if we change, and if we feel work is, it is a part of a greater work. And yesterday somewhere I read, I think night I had put, it was in a not very alert, but they were saying, just think, think about where your money is going, what is your employer doing. If those are all the things good, reasonably, at least not in bad things, then you should say, okay, I'm helping this great institution to work somewhere. I was discussing with my son also exactly the same thing. Where is your application? Where it is helping? PhonePe, it's helping Zepto or something. Okay, somebody is getting some benefit. Think that this work is helping somebody. And I'm part of that great mission which is helping somebody. Somewhere somebody is getting helping. And they are employing so many people's families are fed. This way, if we change our attitude, probably we will not expect the honey which we have ourselves made. We don't expect. It doesn't mean everything should be given. There should be some amount of, not let everything go. But bri adralle itkondre, then what work we do will get lost. Anyway, that he says. Second thing is, he says, like a python. Python, it seems it will not go in search of food. It will just be lying there. On the way, whatever comes, it just gulps it. This is what I actually went through this thing, literature. He says it doesn't in itself go. That doesn't mean we should be lazy, but we can take the lesson of contentment. Whatever comes, I will work. We cannot say like Python, I will just lie there. But whatever comes to me with my work also, whatever comes to me, I will accept it. I will not keep cribbing about what doesn't come to me. That is what he says. I'm satisfied. Like the Python, I'm satisfied with what chance brings. So as I said, 100% application of Python like living applies to Vanaprastha and Sannyasis. For us as householders, we work, but attitude of taking should be like Python. Python will not work. Sannyasis and Vanaprastha, they say just sit and share your experience. Don't go in search of work. Aurige applicable. Namge, we have to work. But then what comes to us? I will be contented. And if I don't get sometimes, it's okay. Sometimes it will come. Good luck will come. Sometimes good luck won't come. It's okay. That is what we have. Take life as it comes. Anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Sometimes I eat food that is given with Avadhuta continues. Just like Python, sometimes I eat food that is given with reverence. Avadhuta is he is a wanderer. He will be in spiritual consciousness. Sometimes I eat food that is given with reverence. Sometimes I eat, sometimes food given without it. Who am exhausting my prarabdha, and where satisfaction, whatever I get. This is the highest state. But to some extent, whenever I get happiness, ima food ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅವಧೂತ, For Avadhuta, it's only the food. Food ಬಿಕ್ಕಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. He'll be walking and all. Just to sustain, he needs some food. So he talks like that. So Avadhuta says, I will be like Python. Avadhuta is highest. He will be like Python. Whenever the food comes, I am there. I will not go and work. I keep roaming and I keep chanting. I keep meditating. Then ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಊಟ. That is his lifestyle. So like that, and then I am established in consciousness, and ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Now we come to the thing which is most applicable for us is ideal of a householder. Householder andre like us, once we get married, then we have our family. We have first family, husband or spouse, wife, husband, children. Then we have extended family, parents, spouses, parents, siblings, their wives, their families. So all this, our responsibilities towards ourselves, towards others, first towards our family, and towards all this constitutes leading these, carrying out these responsibilities with defined guidelines. Dharma is what? It's a proper way of life, which is applicable to ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. ಯುಗ ಧರ್ಮ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಯುಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿತ ಹಂಗಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ಅವಾಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಾಗ ಹಂಗಿತ್ತು, ನಾನು ಹಂಗೆ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ನೋಬಡಿ ವಿಲ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಯು. ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ reasonably without deviating from those disciplines which Narada has told. So that way of life we should do. We should enjoy our life, but we have certain disciplines. So what does Narada say? Because Yudhishthira asks, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, I am with the affairs of household life. Anta Yudhishthira is asking Narada, how can I attain this state of beatitude? Beatitude ಅಂದ್ರೆ like a bee, honey bee, beatitude, attitude. ಹೆಂಗ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು? So he says, all duties, ಯಾರು ನಾರದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಈಗ, if you want to be, first 30 disciplines, he said, for a mankind, basic, what are the principles that are required to be a human being? ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ನಾರದ್ರು. Now he is telling, how should I become like that honeybee? Andre, being a householder also, how can I live a kind of detached life? Because a householder has to dharma, artha, kama. Kama is required for a householder. Rajini beku. Matte you are staying together, you want to build something. So regulated desires are required. Dharma is required. Money is required. Dharma, artha, kama. Now Yudhishthira is asking beyond that. Beatitude andre, how can I reach little moksha, the fourth one? How can I go towards that? Being a householder during this, because he is a king also, and he is a what I should say, he wants to learn. So Narada says, now just how beautifully you see, Arjuna was guided by Krishna. Now Narada is telling Yudhishthira, and Narada used to come to the across all the three worlds till this Dwapar Yuga. I don't know, in this Yuga, we see Narada only in movies. I have not seen. But that time he used to come. We don't know whether he comes in disguise also. We don't know. But Narada beautifully, he says, because he is also a very knowledgeable jnani. So he says, gradually householder should perform all the duties pertaining to his state, because he is householder. ನಾವು ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು 3 ಹೊತ್ತು ಜಪ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, doesn't serve the purpose. You are supposed to do your duty, whatever you have got. Swadharma, he has told previously, whatever is allotted to you, whatever suits your ashrama and your varna and your guna. Ashrama means brahmacharya, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, not by birth, but by your gunas and karmas. Today, if I'm an entrepreneur, I am a vaishya. When I'm teaching, all teachers are like Brahmins only, because everybody is not, he describes that also. After one next chapter is that only. So learning the Vedas, discharging this thing. But of course, avagin kalakke jnanigalu ivattindike, there is a difference. But anyways, so whoever is doing that, so he says, whatever is allotted to you, do that. And gradually, just as one abandons all thoughts and objects which he has seen in a dream. The minute we get up, oh, it was a dream. Then for a while we think, what is the meaning of this dream? But eventually we forget. After all, it's a dream. Like that, he says, one should gradually detach, gradually, not during, uh, today I don't want to live with you, hangala, from wife, children, slowly. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಡಿಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಬಿ ಇನ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, ಎಂಜಾಯ್. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್, ವೆರ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಗೋ, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಶೋ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂಥರ ಮೊರೋಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಮೂರ್ ಜಪ್ಮಣಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹಂಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೌಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ ಸೇಸ್ ಯು ಬಿ ಇನ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, show detached, be mentally detached, be there, enjoy everything, be with your family, because everybody is not in the same platform, but internally you should be aware that everything is manifestation of the divine. Ishtidre saku. Then he says, that means he says, clearly I will read that, though satisfied with what is required for bare maintenance of physical life, and though endowed with renunciation, householder should make all manly effort externally, like the one attached to the world. Okay, it should appear that this person is enjoying every bit of life, but yet internally he should be having that sense of renunciation. He should be under attachment with detachment. And he says, you should also listen if somebody advises, give assent to the advice and suggestions. ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಮಹತ್ವದ್ದು. ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಸನ್ಸ್, ಬ್ರದರ್ಸ್, ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ಸ್, ವಿದೌಟ್ ಎನಿ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ವೆರಿ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಟುಡೇಸ್, or most of us say that. So no, if somebody advise, ಕೇಳ್ರಿ, then do whatever you want to do, but listen to suggestions given by your parents, your children, brothers, friends, relatives, spouses, everything, he says. Then attitude to wealth and sex, he says. Everything, whatever, even if you are working, who is working there? Who is the consciousness through Prakriti is making you work. So he says wealth should be considered as gift of Achyuta. Narvare ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, it's all God's gift. Today if I've got a laptop, if I've got this pen, whatever we have is gift of Achyuta ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, enjoying this well with this attitude of mind in mind, he should discharge his duties. Everything is gift of God. This opportunity to work is given by God. I'm giving it to God, surrendering it to him. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಯನ ವಾಚ ಮನಸೇಂದ್ರಿಯರ್ವ ಬುದ್ಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮನಾಭ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಸ್ವಭಾವ ಕರೋಮಿ ಯದ್ಯತ್ ಸಕಲಂ ಪರಸ್ಮೈ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯತಿ ಸಮರ್ಪಯಾಮಿ. ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ, ಕಾಯ ಟು ದ ಬಾಡಿ, ವಾಚ whatever we speak, ಕಾಯೇ ನ ವಾಚ ಮನಸ್, ಮನಸೇಂದ್ರಿಯ ಇರುವ ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಮೈಂಡ್, ಇಂದ್ರಿಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿತ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್, ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್, ಕಣ್ಣು, ಕಿವಿ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ದಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ಸಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ಸ್ಪೀಕ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ಡೂ ವಿತ್ ಮೈ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್, and whatever I think, and with my discretion, buddhi, all this is done by Prakriti, and all this is due to my Prakriti Swabhava. So whatever is done, I am giving it to God. Idu attitude itkobeku. Not only that, treat deers, birds, camels, andre householders' responsibility. Number 4 is to deal all the animals also as your own issues. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆ ತರ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಸುತ್ತಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ದಮ್ ಆಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್. ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ woman, again he comes back to the, I don't know, he says that sometimes man is obsessed so much with woman. This can be, you people can apply to yourself. He becomes so much involved in the pleasure given by the woman particularly, he says, that he may not hesitate to, move away, kill anta heltaru, but actually move away from his own kith and kin in the delusion of the body satisfaction. He may move away. That should not happen. He must slowly understand. Initially irbodu, but quickly he should come to understanding that this body is short-lived, and this pleasure I am getting, it's related to the body pleasure. So it's not that much worth. Irbeku, kama irbeku. For a householder, that is required. It brings the two people together. It should not be over proportional. and not to the extent that that will make him move away from anybody who comes on the way of his enjoyment with his wife. That they have told actually killing ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. killing ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದೇನು. And sometimes many wars have happened because of a woman ಅಂತಾನೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Even Mahabharata also, Duryodhana also had an eye. Draupadi ಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಇತ್ತು ಅವನಿಗೆ. Many people had an eye and they would be jealous of Arjuna. So like that, woman has been, attraction to woman has been a cause of disaster. So here he says he must understand how worthless is this body, which will be reduced to dirt and ashes or into food and worms. So ಇಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು wife should not be considered as only an object for enjoyment. They have to go beyond that, and bodily pleasure should not be given. So any spiritual thing, no, particularly for men, they have keep on mentioning about this kama kanchana. I don't know whether you people have heard about Epstein files. Anybody has heard?
Yes, yes,
What a tragedy, madam.
I know.
Tragedy, all because of kama kanchana.
ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Kama kanchana, ಅವನು ವಿಕೃತ perverted physical, perverted sex it is. Ado, and why it happened, so much of wealth they started getting. ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಶಾಲ್ ಐ ಡೂ ವಿತ್ ದ ವೆಲ್ತ್? ದೆನ್ obviously it will go in a downward direction. ಇದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಆಗೋದದು. ದೆನ್ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಧರ್ಮ ಅಧರ್ಮ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೆಸ್ಮರೈಸ್ ದೆಮ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಹಿಂದಿನ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಯು ಕೀಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಡೂ ಚಾರಿಟಿ. ದುಡ್ಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅದು. ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಾಟ್ ಶಾಲ್ ಐ ಡೂ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಒನ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಇಸ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್, ಎಂಜಾಯ್, 5 star 7 star 8 star. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾಳೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಡುಗಿ, ಇದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಆಗೋದದು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ. ಸೊ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ we are all cultured people, civilized people. We may not, out in the dirty world, we cannot even imagine how much of damage the wealth is bringing. And everywhere people, whoever are inclined, we should start doing more sadhana, so that there are good vibrations. Horrible to the greatest extent is happening in the world because of wealth. So therefore I think our sages know the mind, how badly it can get perverted. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ. ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಹಂಸ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಅವೇ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇನ್ ಕಾಮ ಕಾಂಚನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಕಾಂಚನನೇ ಇರದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಕಾಮ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಮ್, ನೋ ಕಾಮ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ನೌ convinced that we should start giving more charity to deserving people. Keep some for our old age, ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಾಕಿದನ್ನ we should start giving. That gives more happiness and that purifies the mind ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ. Charity is also another very important act that purifies our mind. So then next he goes on to say, a pious householder should do 5-fold yajna. Pancha maha yajna ಅಂದ್ರೆ worshipping with righteously got materials, ಅಂದ್ರೆ hard earned money, not bribe or corruption, hard earned money ಇಂದ you should worship 5 objects of worship as though supreme being ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು, ದೇವಾಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಜ್ಞಗಳೊಳಗೆ ದೇವತಾಸ್, ಋಷೀಸ್, ಮೆನ್, everybody is manifestation of supreme being ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ your fellow beings, you should treat them as manifestation of supreme being. You should treat rishis, genuine, as I said, as manifestation of supreme being. You should treat devas ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗಣಪತಿ ಅಂದ್ರಿ, ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಪ್ರಾಣ ದೇವರು ಅಂದ್ರಿ, ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ದೇವಾಸ್. So worship them as though supreme being is there. Even Bhagavad Gita Krishna ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, you worship any god or goddesses, I am not against it, but believe that ultimately it reaches to Parabrahman. So it says devas, rishis, men, pitrus andre pitrugana shraddha karma. Whether you do shraddha as rituals or whatever, remember them. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ಹೇಳೋದು ಪಿತೃಗಳನ್ನು ನೆನೆಸ್ಬೇಕು. You should remember their contribution. So pitrus and brute creations ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ animals. So you ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ರು ದೇವಾನ್, ಋಷೀನ್, Bhuta Gana, they are also considered to be some, what I should say, elements of worthy of worship. I don't precisely know why these Bhuta Ganas are worshipped. Maybe I will read up and come back and tell you, or if somebody knows, you can just highlight. And then he says, so this way you should worship. And for us in this period of time, what can we do? At least we can see that the presence of Supreme Being in our fellow beings, so that we live in harmony. ಅಷ್ಟು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಸಾಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪಿತೃ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್ ಡೂ ಶ್ರಾದ್ದ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಡೊನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಚಾರಿಟಿ ಟು ಆರ್ಫನ್ಸ್, ರಿಮೆಂಬರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದೇರ್ ನೇಮ್, in your Pitru's name, fathers, forefathers, ancestors. So this is one of the thing. And they have given one section on Shraddha and auspicious rites. Shraddha is to be performed by householders to the dead parents and their relatives. So ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ these ಶ್ರಾದ್ದ ಕರ್ಮ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is a faith that these Pitrus live in the Pitraloka, and they actually, they say don't do too much of food and all that, but do some rituals. Andre the mind should get involved, and we in Shraddha Karma we keep 2 brahmanas and we invoke the presence of our Pitrus. So the Pitrus are still there. The Atma will be still, the subtle body with the will be still there in the Pitraloka. And our doing this Shraddha Karma, one aspect which I have heard and which I actually feel good is that this is the Runa, this is the debt we are clearing by remembering them on that day. And probably those vibrations reach them and they feel happy if they are sensing it. I am not very clear, but this much I know through Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's statements and all that. Here they give a lot of descriptions on how Shraddha Karma should be done. But for us, to apply to our day-to-day life, if we don't have much time, there are very short and fast rituals, fast Shraddha Karma, 10-15 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಶ್ರಾದ್ದ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಕಣ, ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಶ್ರಾದ್ದ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So any method you take, any ritual, that day we should remember them. On that day, it is, you have to remember. Anta Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, if you quote his statement, he says, ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀರ್ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ಕಣ್ಣೀರ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ರಿ ನಿಮ್ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೆ. Why? They have done so much of sacrifice in carrying you and bringing you up. So that debt we have, Pitru Runa, we have to give them back. So Shraddha, he says, and next they say, householder should visit holy places. Holy places, in the beginning of Bhagavad Purana also they say, what do the visit to holy places do? It will take you to areas of good vibrations. You will see people doing so many, archana, puja. Some people are meditating. Particularly, I'm sure if you have gone to Rishikesh, Haridwar, Badri, and actually they have mentioned Gaya, Prayaga, Pulaharashrama, Intal Hogbeku, Naimisharanya, Falguna, Prabhasa, Ushasthali, Varanasi, Mathura, Bindusaras, Badrikashrama, ivella kottidare, because there people go in search of those places. You don't see any kind of wealthiness or show off. These pure places, you have to go there, and that will stimulate you, and then come back and continue. But the mind will get drawn into so many worldly things. Again, you visit that holy places. So visit to holy places is another important responsibility of a householder at regular intervals. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says a householder should take a break from his routine and spend a day in solitude, in Nirjana Pradesha, where there's nobody there. Just go, spend yourself, me time, whatever we call, but without mobile, without laptop. ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕುತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತೆ Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, because at that time, when you don't have mobile, when you don't have laptop, when you don't have people to speak, mind will be automatically going inwards. So ಇವರು ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, go to holy places so that you get recharged, recharged with spiritual. That is very, very important. Getting recharged is extremely important. Swami Sarvapriyananda's one, this one is there, how to console ourselves, and very nice it is. Mangu story, anta maybe you would have read. So there, Swamiji says that one lady asked one question. We know that we should come out of this, and I'm happy here. But many times, again, we go down. Again, our mind goes in a depressed state. How to bring it back, how to get rid ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ ಅವಳು. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಗೆಟ್ ರಿಡ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೋಕ್ಷ. That's the only way of getting it, because you become totally detached and you are not, you are observer, complete observer. But to reach before that, Swamiji has given very practical solution. Again, it is a story of Sri Ramakrishna's parables, or maybe Upanishad. So he says, mongoose and the snake, they are always enemies. They keep fighting. And usually sometimes the snake wins, sometimes the mongoose wins. So the snake will put the poison on the, what I should say, prick, and it will inject the poison. So the mongoose immediately goes to some place in the forest, deep in the forest. It knows that there is some herb which will neutralize the snake venom. It will eat that herb, and again it comes to fight with the snake. So ee reeti, going to holy places, going to solitude, or going for meditation, this is like that mongoose story. Go back. So every day you should not wait for the snake to, but the prapancha, worldliness, when you are in a family, it is like a snake only, because everywhere you are getting some pricks here and there. So therefore, Swamiji has beautifully said, you can take some, that is the basic purpose of meditation or bhajans or reading scriptures or listening. That is how the mongoose goes and takes the antidote. Likewise, for us, the antidote is japa, dhyana, remembering God. So that we go there, come back, become active. So like that, they say, visit holy places. And then he talks about, as we said, pancha yajna. And then not only that, then he says, holy images. He says holy images, andre temples. What is this thing? So he says he has described about presence of Atma. We talked about 3 Purushas in 15th chapter last time. Uttama Purusha, Akshara Purusha, Kshara Purusha. Very beautiful it is actually. Same thing he brings here. Supreme being is in our body as a Jivatman. That is a Uttama Purusha. Jivatman. Pure Jivatman. But when it gets trapped, it becomes it gets trapped in that Maya, Akshara Purusha, because of subtle body. But Akshara Purusha is also primordial Maya. And then comes the Kshara Purusha. Kshara Purusha means Ivella body, Jivas. So in other words, the consciousness through the primordial elements, Mahat Tattva and Maya and Prakriti, it starts functioning and manifesting. Nanu, Niu, gold ornaments, same examples. Like gold ornaments and gold, we are all different manifestation of the same Prakriti and Purusha. Original Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti modifies into Guna, modifies into Nama Rupa, my name, your Rupa, your name, her Rupa. Everything is all manifestation. Extreme lowest manifestation is that. Then comes the pure, and then comes still purer. Pure means pure, primordial, the Pancha Mahabhuta, Mahat, not even that, Mahat Tattva. That is Mahat, Pakka Mahat Tattva, energy. And then comes the consciousness. So, Adan ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ Naradru, Purusha and Prakriti and Jiva. Purusha, Prakriti, Jiva. He talks about that. And then, so whatever is there, his manifestation in some bodies is greater, in some bodies is lesser, and that is because of the gunas. And therefore, man is a fit recipient, and among men, he in whom the spirit is more manifest, he is better recipient. And the guna, sattvika guna, we are referring to. So wherever that guna is there, he starts manifesting more. But men become mutually disrespectful and antagonistic due to wrong perception. Very important word. ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವೋ ಒಬ್ಬರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಮಹತ್ವದಿದೆ. ಸಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ಗುಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾನೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್. Everybody has evolved differentially. That is because of his own buddhi. He starts performing and consciousness has encouraged in that same way. Adrinda variations irutte. And that is how some gold ornaments are very intricate, very beautiful. Eshtu nazuk irtade. Kelondu gross irtade. Just like that, some people are very gross and gross. And some people are very evolved and very, very, very subtle, very sensitive, very understanding. Some are not. But that is how nature is. If we don't have this understanding or this perception. I always like this word perception. That means how we interpret, how we analyze. That depends on our evolution. ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿನ 3 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ 3 ಜನ they will judge in a different way because it depends on their perception. So this is very important in Adhyatma, spirituality. So men become disrespectful and antagonistic because of perception of defects, and therefore incapable of seeing the Lord within. ಇಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ಹೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ ಟುಡೇ ವಿ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಟು ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹರ್ ಅಪ್ಯಾರೆಂಟ್ projection. Whatever we see, that only we believe. Even though we know that there is consciousness, we fail to go. Therefore, he says, therefore, in the Treta Yuga, great sages brought into being a system of worshipping him in the holy images. Worshipping him. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಭಗವಂತನ ಗುಡಿ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ 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 we will develop goodness. We may not go to holy places always, but if there are temples, we can visit there are around. So holy images you have to follow. You should have faith in them. ಭಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಗುಣಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಮಹತ್ವ. ಸಗುಣ means God with form. So when the garbhagudi of any temple, no, there is a image, there is an idol, or there are photos. So they are all worshipped. They have all invoked. So you should go there and worship them anta heltare. And then he says that holy man you should worship. Holy places, he said, holy images, he said, and sadhu santrana, holy man, because he takes care of Vedas, he is knowledgeable. And when you get associated with him, then you can learn so many things. Anta he says, and then he has talked about again Shraddha Karma and all that, which we have discussed. And he says that there are, now this is the dharmic way. This is the way you should follow. And then he continues. One more thing he says. He gives some, this is very important. With that, I would like to conclude for today. So as you keep on doing, no, you know this, how to go about, and he continues. Extra, again he comes to this point. Extra, I mean, over indulgence in sex has to be conquered by abandoning the will to enjoy. Andre, I will tell you what it means. Sankalpa ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತೆ. ನಾವು ಮಂತ್ರಾಲಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕವರಿದ್ದಾಗ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ my mother was very fond of taking us to Mantralaya when we were small. That used to be like a resort for us because there was water, plenty of water, and twice in a day we used to bathe in that water, come back in those wet clothes and do that circumambulation, pradakshina haki. It used to get dried in that sun, and for us bhakti was there. But more than that, we would enjoy those idli vadas, taking bath in that water. Itara we used to enjoy. But alli, why I'm talking about Mantralaya is sankalpa madistidru. Alli seva anta ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು 5 ದಿನ. I'm sure many of you would have gone there. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ರು ಪುರೋಹಿತರು ಬಂದು ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಒಂದು ತೆಂಗಿನಕಾಯಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು 5 ದಿವಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. That means I will decide, I will resolve, I will keep that coconut as a mark of that my resolution. Sankalpa is nothing but I resolve, it's my resolution that I will adhere to this, whatever I have committed, SOP. I have adhered to that procedure. That morning I will do 5 pradakshinas, evening I will do. Andre, this is initially, as we said, we always pray, nan devre ನನಗೆ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. So here also we should do our own ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು ನಾರದ್ರು. Sexuality has to be conquered by I will decide that I will not enjoy this anymore beyond what is allotted to me. Okay, that sankalpa. Sexuality has to be conquered by sankalpa. Anger, elladukku is giving one solution. Anger by abandoning the desire. Greed by reflecting on the risks of being wealthy. Greed, adu beku idu beku, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, go and read that Epstein files, how dirty it is. So greed ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದ್ರೆ, ಅತಿಶಯವಾದ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದ್ರೆ, what will I do with that? It will divert me. Another bagge we have to be alert. So reflecting on the risks. So first he said sexuality by sankalpa, anger by abandoning the desire, greed by understanding and thinking about the risks, and fear, how to overcome fear. Bhaya ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ. So many of us have this fear. Many times we are afraid. Meditation will get rid of fear. And when you are in grief, how will you overcome? Akshanakke, remember what I told you, Yudhishthira. Think Atman Anatman, yes, beautiful nodi. Actually, I like this one maximum. Whenever you are in grief, that minute you think, I am the Atman. Nothing can touch me. Whatever is happening is in gunas. Somebody hurt me, some damage has happened to me in my life. Right now I'm in grief. I have been grieving. I may grieve forever. I don't know, but that grief and I are separate ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಾರದ್ರು. Whenever you are grief, you should have discrimination between Atman and Anatman. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. This we should take to become very strong, like mongoose, one story, another one is this one. Atman, Anatman. Just isolate. I am not the sufferer. Somebody is suffering. That is not me. I am Sat Chit Ananda. Athara we have to again and again, repeatedly. Omme alla adu. That grief will remind us to take it, or it will push us to that. Spiritual seekers ige, grief should push us to become aware of the presence of consciousness. And whenever we feel that I am becoming too proud, pride, antara arrogance bandre, he says associate with the wise people. ಟಕ್ಕಂತ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ರೂಟೆಡ್, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ರೂಟೆಡ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಬ್ಸ್ಟಕಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಬಂತು ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಡೇ ಟೈಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಸ್ ಸೈಲೆನ್ಸ್. ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗುಡ್. ಇನ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 30 disciplines also he told too much. So control your sexuality by sankalpa, anger by abandoning desire. ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಡಿಸೈರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, I want this, if it's not important, cut. Tell your mind to delete. Greed, understand the risk in wealthy. What happens if you are wealthy? If you are having fear, sit and meditate when you get afraid. When something is bothering you, go close your door, sit and meditate, or do 108 japas. And grief, discrimination. Too much of grief andre we are obsessed by that sorrow. Avaga Atman Anatman. When you feel very proud, associate with the wise. When you are obstacles to concentration, start practicing silence. And then painful experiences from other living creatures that are to be overcome by kindness towards them. Lot of debate is happening in this, no? Gandhiji said, if somebody slaps you on one cheek, show the other cheek anta. Adakke today's generation has abandoned Gandhi. Correct, no? Gandhi principles adakke namge hangaitu. Correct. What my interpretation is that this is case to case basis we should take. This is ಒಂದ್ ಗಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಗಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂತದ್ದು ನಮ್ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು. ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿಗಳಿಗೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಡಿಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಹೊಡಿತೀಯಾ? ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ತಮಿಳ್ ಸೇಂಟ್, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಧು ಸಂತರಿಗೆ ಒಂದ್ ಗಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಗಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೋದು. ಗೃಹಸ್ಥರಿಗೆ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್. ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಹೋರಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. That is exactly what Krishna told Arjuna to do in Kurukshetra, isn't it? So here the reference is for people who have gone extremely high, because it doesn't matter, we will walk away but not for householders who are actively working. If you have any bodily issues, he says, do pranayama anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಬಾಡಿ ಅನ್ಹೆಲ್ತಿ ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ pranayama is the cure for so many illnesses. Sadhguru ordu Chit Shakti meditation, I always mention this. Beautiful it is. Please go through that. Today again I will share. I've shared previously also. Invoking your own self-healing mechanisms. They work magical. So pranayama. If you are suffering from sleep, he says, eat sattvic food. Maybe your food is not good, so you are having insomnia. Thought for pondering. Rajas and tamas are to be conquered by sattva. And sattva, by proper sattva has to grow towards liberation. Rajas and tamas have to grow towards sattva. An aspirant will succeed in all this easily if he has a true devotion in the Guru anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. And some more are there. We can take them in the next session. So 26th shloka we have come. Chapter 15. So I will conclude for today because I have some guests coming. Maybe they have come already. So with that, one or two additions and then we can wind up. Or we keep the discussion. Anybody wants to quickly add on?
Nothing.
Okay. I think, thank you very much. Sorry for my quick exit today. And we will continue because I thought even if it is short, we should have it. We should not miss that Bhagavad Gita I missed. So we conclude for today. Kayena vacha manasendriyirva buddhyatmana bha prakriti swabhava karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. Om sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः पापोऽहं पापकर्माहं पापात्मा पापसम्भवात् त्राहि मां कृपया देव शरणागतवत्सल अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष रमापते ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
nice weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you, madam.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.